Cubs lose to the Braves in brutal fashion. There's so much to talk about. Let's get to it right now.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Please support the show by following on your preferred audio platform, and you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Cubs took a 6-0 lead into the sixth on Tuesday night in the ATL and lose 7-6 to the Braves. It was a Seiya Suzuki missed fly ball in the bottom of the eighth amongst a array of bad moments in this ball game. Sam, where would you like to start? Because there really is a lot in what could define this season.
In the eighth inning, Seiya Suzuki had I would say a quasi routine fly ball to right field that was completely botched, and that's the play people will talk about. And the one thing, we'll get into the game and everything that could have gone wrong, but what I can't stand about 2023 and what I can't stand about social media is now, instead of talking about what needs to be talked about, which is one of the worst losses I've ever seen from the Cubs in my history of, I'm not going to list them because people are already sad enough, but this is one of the, if the Cubs don't make the playoffs, this will be one of one of the five worst losses of all time. And everybody just goes, well, is it Seiya's fault or not? And it's this debate. And who cares? Like, Seiya Suzuki dropped the routine fly ball, or he didn't even drop it. He whiffed on it. And he absolutely deserves criticism for that. That is okay, folks. That he is a professional baseball player. If I am out there in right field, that is a play I make 8 out of 10 times.
It's a routine play.
Yeah. He is supposed to make that play 999 times out of 1,000.
Right.
And the one time he didn't cost them a game, and it might cost them a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. It stinks. He's been awesome. It's not fair to him. Breaking news. Life isn't fair. That's why he makes $20 million a season, because he is expected to make those plays with the game on the line in his sleep. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's not go, oh, well, we can't blame him. Okay? So that's step one. That ball has to be caught.
Right.
Step two, the Cubs had a 6-0 lead. Where did it start to go south? Justin Steele, your ace, once again.
Cruising, by the way.
Yeah, cruising. Not being able to get through 6 innings really hurt this team.
Yep.
Their injuries and beat up bullpen. You go from Steele to Kwas to a short-rested Assad to Drew Smyly to close out the best team in the league with your season on the line. It's very hard to win like that. The Cubs had a couple of chances to add on. Could have scored 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, to me, the biggest non-Suzuki thing for me, Matt, was
top of the eighth, right?
PCA comes in the game in the 5th inning as a defensive replacement.
Fourth inning,
which is just far too early. Okay. And then he gets
very unusually early.
And then he gets pinch hit for in the 8th up a run when, there's a hypothetical world where if PCA is out there, his speed, he just calls Seiya off and the inning's over. So it just, the way Ross managed that made no sense. I would have either just let Mastro hit or just hit wisdom for Mastro at that point, and then you can let PCA lay down the bunt to keep his defense in there. My conclusion is this. All of those things are true. The Suzuki play was brutal.
Exactly.
All these things are true. Here's my big conclusion in this. I almost feel sick. Like, if I'm being honest,
I understand.
I almost feel sick, and I feel sick for everybody.
Right.
My conclusion is this feeling I'm having now has happened too many times this season. There has been
close. It's probably close to 7 or 8.
It's too many losses
Yep.
like this. And this is a world where, we could look and say this gone wrong, this gone wrong. All I know is a professional team should not lose this many games like this. And somebody somewhere has to be accountable. And I get it. David Ross can't put a glove on and play right field for Seiya Suzuki.
Mm-hmm.
However, he can make better moves to help them win. Bringing in a defensive replacement in a 5-run game, it almost sends the wrong message to your team. Like, hey, we got enough runs. Now we just got to hold them. It's the 4th inning.
It was a weird one.
They really struggled, in all facets. I thought they pitched scared at times. It was a disaster. And I just, I just can't believe that I'm already seeing it in the chat and seeing it on Twitter. It's not going to be about the Cubs losing. It's going to be about, do we blame Suzuki or not? And it's just laughable. Just who, like, I don't care who blames it. I don't care who dropped it. They lost the game and now potentially are going to lose the postseason. Who cares? Just move on from it. It's a loss.
Yeah, I think there is a way.
Stop debating. He should have caught it.
Yeah, and I think actually not debating is actually a more thoughtful way, as weird it is to put that, because a lot of things apply here to adding up to a brutal loss. If a win is a win right now, then a loss is a loss. It's our job to break it down. We're going to do so. But the fact is one of my main takeaways from your statement there is that I feel like I unfortunately have seen this movie this year. Not with as much consequence, because now there's only 5 games left, but they actually have done this. May 17th, they were up 6-1 with 6 outs to go against the Astros. They were up 6-0 July 3rd to the Brewers, and now this game. Those have been the 3 worst, and I think there's 4 or 5 more that leave you with a queasy feeling. 8 losses like that in a single season, that's a lot to get over. It is. And I know the bullpen was in rough shape, but I guess I didn't realize it was being held together with tape.
Yeah. So
Leiter and Merriweather are not 100%. They're cooked.
I think Merriweather would have thrown the 9th.
Great, but he hasn't been great.
No.
Quast does a great job cleaning it up to get out of the 6-6-3. And then Assad pitches when technically he should be in gym shoes until tomorrow still. Smiley in the 8th is a little bit wild. And the top of the 8th is an abomination for me. As a baseball host, a baseball coach, a baseball lifer who actually appreciates the bunt, 10 times out of 10 there, you don't bunt. You don't. And the roster moves there, the lineup changes is befuddling. And you do it with a guy who's hitting .412 since July 18th. Miles Mastrobuoni already had 3 hits in this game, hitting .412. Why are we laying one down?
With
either lay one down with PCA, like you said, right? Hope that Mastro gets on, or do the wisdom sub earlier. So there's so much here. I do think something that is going to be under discussed that you did, eloquently mention already is the Steele not being able to finish the 6th did have a ripple effect that we didn't realize in the moment. 6-0 lead, 7-6 loss. We're going to break down the playoff picture. But yeah, just a time to reflect right now, and another unfortunate poor feeling from this team and this year.
Matt, run differential is a weird stat that we've talked about on this show many times, but let me tell you something.
If I'm around 100, right?
If I'm Jed Hoyer and I lose out in the postseason to the Miami Marlins, which looks like that's probably the likely scenario here.
Can I guess the run differentials?
Yes.
Okay, so we're doing Cubs and Marlins then?
Yes.
So I think the Cubs are plus 99.
Cubs are plus 100 even.
Okay. I'm going to say the Marlins are minus 47.
The Marlins are minus 51. The Cubs are
Okay.
going to most likely to miss out on the postseason to a team that they are at 151 runs better than.
Crazy.
And that to me summarizes the season.
That's
and,
so many.
And that's where you have to, and I get it. A lot of those runs came, when it was 12-2, they made it 20-2. I get it.
Right.
But that to me, with
That's a
all
lot.
due respect to the manager, that's something that you just can't overlook. That is one team overachieving at a level that's almost unsustainable, and a team like us. And that's why I'm not here for the, hey, it's been a great season regardless. According to these stats, this is a 90-plus win team.
Yeah.
And
it is. A lot of the metrics have it about 90 wins.
And you look at it, I mean, they've got the third best differential in the NL.
They have for a while.
And it's just, you just can't. You just can't. And
yeah, well, I think it will be looked at, especially after the 3-10 stretch recently.
And I got asked on the Red Show a while back. I said, hey, what's going to be the key to the Cubs season to make the playoffs? I said, can they win enough close ones? And they've just been losing a lot of them.
They have.
But this one, we've said so many times this year, that's the one that just hurts the most. That's
true.
The one. Yeah. And it got there tonight, and it's just,
yeah,
I'm almost numb. I'm almost numb.
The weird part is there is all these games left, not all these games, but there's a handful left with 5 left on the docket for the Cubs, 5 for the D-backs, 4 for the Reds, 6 for the Marlins. And let's update the playoff picture and talk about some chances, some expectations coming up next. Tired of weakening or thinning hair? Do you want to reach your full hair potential? Leading Hair Growth Supplement Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement. Clinically shown to improve your hair growth. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Found out why over 4,000 healthcare pros recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men. That's spelled Nutrafol, Nutrafol.com/men, and enter promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Cubs play the Braves at 6:20 p.m. Central Wednesday, and you can listen to every pitch with the Cubs hometown broadcast on SiriusXM, on the SXM app, search Cubs, or tune into channel 844 and catch the Cubs all season long on SiriusXM. So the season is not over for the Cubs, but and I actually am not the biggest fan of using terms like deserve, but I'll tell you what, they shouldn't expect to get in now. I mean, now that is official. They should not expect to get in. Diamondbacks hold their second spot in the wild card with a win over the White Sox. Not sure if the Sox are going to even take one game in that series. Southsiders now with 98 losses. Reds defeated the Guardians 11-7. They're now a game and a half. And Marlins, a static result today as the Marlins and Mets were postponed due to rain in Queens. And we'll play a straight doubleheader. That's one game after the other, beginning at 3:10 Central Wednesday. Do you have thoughts on the playoff picture in a moment of crisis like this?
Yeah, I think the Reds are much more back alive now after that result, and the Marlins getting postponed. But I think the Cubs are, they're very reliant on the Marlins doubleheader now. The Marlins have to lose one of those games, and the Cubs have to win tomorrow night. So that's pretty much what it is. It was a game where if you won, I like saying it out loud just makes me, I just can't even believe it. Like,
right, it has so many consequences.
Yeah, if they got the outs and won this game, you're basically in an incredible spot. You'd be a game and a half, and then who knows? Even if the Marlins sweep tomorrow, you're still all right. It's hard. It's hard. I don't have any thoughts. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but one thing I do want to mention that I think is really important is that I've talked about Seiya Suzuki a lot on this show, and I think the mental part of the game is really the key for him.
Yeah,
And I'm very concerned
for
about
sure.
what this is going to do to him, because this is Chicago. This is like, again, I'm not. I don't think I'm overemphasizing. If they don't make the playoffs, this is the double doink, right? This is one of those type of plays you can't get out of your head. And I am very concerned, because this is somebody that really turned around his season, and somebody that I was starting to look at next year as a guy that, should be one of their two best hitters. And I'm very concerned because Chicago's just not, if you're playing in, Kansas City or Milwaukee, remember, I don't know if you remember this, Matt, but the 2019 wild card game, I think it was Trent Grisham at the time was a Brewer, and Juan Soto hit a ball that Grisham let get by him, and it cost the Brewers. But like, nobody talks about that because it's the Brewers. Like, nobody really cares about the Brewers. You just move on. His career's moved on and been fine. That is going to be a really tough one for him, and I hope that it doesn't impact him more than just a few days. But
Yeah. I have serious concern about impacting him the rest of the week.
Yeah.
I guess I would just say let's not let that happen beyond this week. I obviously it's up to him and his mindset going into 2024. But man, that hasn't even crossed my mind. So you're making a claim that could impact him next year.
And here's his quotes just now from Jesse Rogers. Cubs Seiya Suzuki says the lights contributed to him missing a routine fly ball. Ever since I was playing in Japan, you do have to take that into consideration. If I do say that it was the lights, it's an excuse. So I'm not going to say that, which is really poorly written by Rogers. Suzuki continues on. I was seeing it pretty well until the very last second. I honestly thought it went into my glove. So it was just that split second where I blurred my vision. This is not the first time this has happened to Seiya, by the way.
Right.
And I remember one time in LA it happened last year where it cost the Cubs a couple runs. I'm going to be honest, and I mean this with no disrespect. I don't think he lost the ball.
Yeah, you think he just missed the ball?
I think he either missed the ball, was worried about a collision, or just kind of froze and just his eyes never went away from the ball. When you lose a ball in the lights and you're looking up, you have to almost look away because you lose the ball.
Right.
His eyes never lost the ball. It doesn't matter at the end of the day why he lost it or dropped it, but I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, they still probably would have blown it in the ninth.
You don't know that.
I think if they got out of it, they wouldn't have. I think they would have had some momentum, and I think they would have probably scored in the top of the ninth. Would have been a different pitcher, different situation. I don't think they would have blown it in the ninth. That's just my opinion, but
yeah.
It's hard.
I mean, I think I don't know. I wish we were in that reality, but
Matt, one quick thing.
You only have 3 outs left.
Jake says, agreed, Sam. I feel bad for Sam. I don't feel sorry for him, Jake. So with all due respect, this is baseball. This is professional sports. He dropped the ball. I hope it doesn't hurt him long term. But sitting here and coddling him and saying, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. This is why you play the game. People always say, man, these baseball players, these basketball players, they're paid too much. And it's true. But there's a reason why, right? Because it comes with great responsibility. I mean, what do you think Bill Buckner? I mean, that guy's life got ruined over a ground ball.
Yeah.
If you feel bad for Seiya Suzuki, you should feel really, really bad for Bill Buckner. Bill Buckner was a heck of a player. He was a really good baseball player. And his entire life, not his baseball career, his entire life is centered around one ground ball that he didn't make. It stinks. It stinks. But that's what you sign up for. Hopefully he'll bounce back. and he'll be okay long term. And I think the easy thing for Seiya is the Cubs were not going to probably win a world championship either way. And at the end of the day, you got to come back, but you just don't want it to happen. Let him affect them and happen again.
Yeah, I guess I don't. As I apologize, I'm trying to charge my device here.
Yeah, no, don't let it die.
Everything got wrecked tonight.
Don't let your computer die like maybe our season. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's on him if it affects him long term.
Yeah,
and I would just say as much as we can as fans to rally him if he needs it. But it's on the record that he has some mental gymnastics going on. So for these last 5 games in the short term, I think that's legit and fair about asking about that. But the schedule is so bad right now when compared to the other teams in the race. It's not even close, which is why this first game was so critical.
Yeah.
So now you're done one game, you lose it with 5 to play, and everyone else has a soft landing spot. Now, playing 2 games in one day is not easy. You hope for a split there. But like you said, a split plus the Cubs winning. And Taillon against the Braves, that doesn't scream confidence to me.
Well, and a split plus the Cubs winning just means you hold serve. You're still a game up. It's very bleak at this moment. And another game I want to mention, you talked about the other ones. The Saturday night game in Arizona, I think, was one of these as well.
It was and the Sunday game against the Marlins in April or May.
The pit that I have in my stomach after these games, I just sometimes, Matt, you just say to yourself, why do we get so involved in it?
So there's been at least 5 of these then. The 2 extra inning games today, Astros, Brewers, 5.
I wish I could be those people. And I have plenty of them in my life that watch a game like that and go, get them tomorrow.
Right.
This season, I just.
Oh no, it's demoralizing.
It is.
What's crazy is the stretch from July 18 to September 6.
I think it's time for me to really think about finding some social activities and
really?
And it's just it's a sign. It's time. It's time for me to find some things to do. And
are you performing?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
Wow, this is wild.
No, I'm not saying like I'm giving up. I'm always going to watch the games, but just I can't be this
level of investment.
Yeah, this level of investment is just too much, man. Like this is
a disease. I'm going to be watching tomorrow, 6:20.
I am so sick, dude. Like, look at the games that they've. I think for one show in the offseason, I'm just going to write.
We will. It'll be torture, but we'll do that. I mean, we already have 5 games we just listed.
I think there's like 20 of them.
Well, I think it's closer to 10, honestly.
I could think of 10 right now.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to do that right now.
Yeah. I don't want to do it either.
But yeah, if I think we have to do that. If they don't make it, we have to. And and the other thing is, we're gonna have to bring up that run differential thing again.
Are you wearing a shirt that says punting is winning?
Punting is winning because all the teams I'm a fan of are just torture. Iowa football hasn't scored 3 touchdowns in a game since Obama, dude. Let's talk about what's next coming up. Okay. Stay tuned. This episode is brought to you by Jase Medical. You might need some medicine after this Cubs season. Everyone should be empowered to care for themselves and their loved ones during the unexpected. That's why Jase Medical offers the Jase Case. The Jase Case provides 5 life-saving antibiotics for emergency use and gives you a peace of mind so that you are not just hoping that you have access to medication in an emergency. Jase Medical makes sure you have the medication in hand, and it's simple. They handle everything from the online evaluation to licensed pharmacy medication delivery and ongoing consultation and care. Save more than $360 by getting these life-saving antibiotics with Jase Medical, plus an additional $20 off by using code LOCKEDON at checkout on jasemedical.com. That's Jase Medical, Jase medical.com, promo code LOCKEDON. We're back here on Locked On Cubs, live exclusively on YouTube. So if you're listening on audio, shout out to you, and you can join us after a game.
373 depressed people.
Possibly only 5 more of these. And yes, 360 plus right now with us on the last few minutes. Jameson Taillon against Deontay Vines. And that's the preview for Wednesday. So
can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Because when this show ends, I'll be in a dark, dark place.
Yeah, I really would like to make a food run, honestly.
Oh, thank God I ate during the game because I might not eat for 72 hours.
Okay.
When that ball, so I just want to take you through my reaction when that ball hit the ground. Oh
yeah, please.
This is the feeling that I've had. That feeling that I had. I recall 2 other times in my life that I had it. One was Cubs related, and one was World Cup related. It's not anger. It's a step. It's not sadness. It's a step above of absolute total shock. Rajay Davis, game tying homer in Game 7, where I just look around and I just say, like, this isn't happening. Like, literally, like, you're kidding, right? And then one of them was when Argentina blew the World Cup, and then they came back to. But the other 2 resulted in victories. So
championship victories.
Yeah, so maybe this will too.
Well, yeah, maybe so.
Oh man, one thing I'll say is God bless these guys that got to go home, go back to a hotel tonight, sleep it off, wake up, and do it all again tomorrow because. I don't.
It will be interesting to see their response.
Will it?
You know,
what type of response can they have if they get up 6 homers?
Well, that's what I mean. It could just be. It could officially. I mean, they could just go down. You know, do they go down or they go down without a fight?
I don't think they're that type of group. I think they've always been at their best with their best.
I know, but there's only 5 games left.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to quit. I think they'll probably hit this guy well, but you know, they're playing the best team in the league with Taillon pitching.
Correct.
You know, I mean, they're going to probably be heavier underdogs than David versus Goliath. So
David versus Goliath.
I don't know. I mean, they're gonna be heavier underdogs than like a 116 game in the NCAA.
Oh wow, it's gonna be that bad?
No.
Okay. I mean, we can take a quick look here as we do the outro.
I just looked. I can't find it. I don't have my phone on me, and I don't.
It was too shocking of a game result. They probably can't get the lineup yet.
No.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked On Cubs, or apologies for checking out this edition. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube and smash the like button for the algorithm. Remember, you're smashing the like button to support the show, not the result of the Cubs. I know sometimes there's confusion about that. It's not based on the title or the result, but to support us, and we appreciate it. Also, catch us on Apple, Spotify, and streaming on SiriusXM. We'll do it again tomorrow, hopefully with the Cubs in a winning way. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.